Hi, members of the UND campus community. Thank you for tuning in. And with me today is Dr. Shane Shelfeffer, who is our Director of UND's Institutional Effectiveness. He's also the lead for our Higher Learning Commission accreditation visit, which happens next week on the 22nd and 23rd of April. Shane, it's good to see you.
Well, thank you for having me today, President Armacost.
Tons of work happening across the campus to prepare for this event.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for all of your hard work.
Yes, and I should just add that although I'm the one that asked to get to do interviews like this and UND today, there's a whole team of people that have been working really hard behind the scenes to make this happen, so kudos to them as well. It's not just me. Dozens
upon dozens, if not hundreds of people who are working hard to make this happen.
Absolutely.
So what should the campus expect during this visit?
So on Monday, April 22nd and Tuesday, April 23rd, there will be a team of reviewers that come from the HLC. Well, they're actually from our peer institutions, but they are coming on behalf of the HLC. And so while they're here, they will have an opportunity to interview and work with the campus community to sort of address some of the questions that they have about the different events. So they've requested specific meetings with various committees as well as various entities on campus. And then there's also going to be an opportunity for 5 public open forum events. So those events will be taking place on Monday afternoon. There will be 3 of them, and then Tuesday morning there will be two of those events. So I'll just add that we have invited specific members of the community to attend some of these meetings, and so watch for an appointment to come from Provost Link's office. But everyone is welcome to come to those open forum sessions, and then there will be 2 what we're calling drop-in sessions, and we can kind of think of those as office hours. So there will be members of the review team that are just having an opportunity for anyone to drop in and ask questions or have a conversation with them. And those events will both be Monday and Tuesday morning.
Great. So that's what happens when they're here. Let's take a step back, and can you share the significance and what's so important about Higher Learning Commission accreditation?
Yeah, so obviously as an institution we want to keep our accreditation, but what this is about it's about a quality assurance review every 10 years. So we're on the open pathway for HLC, so we do this every 10 years. And so what this is really about, it's really about peer review and meeting standards. And so those standards have been set forth by our colleagues, institutions of higher learning across the nation. And so essentially that just gets boiled down into 5 criteria for accreditation that the HLC has set forth. So it's important that we're showing the quality of our institution for our primary stakeholders, that being the federal government, the state government, as well as our program and institutional accreditors. And then, of course, most importantly, the state of North Dakota and our students, because that's ultimately who we serve as a public institution. And then I'll also just add as well that we've uncovered a few things sort of internally, like just an internal review of everything as we've gone through this process. And so that's been a great opportunity for us to make a few changes, whether it's policy or a lack of a policy or maybe data that needs to be collected that we're not collecting. So.
Right, so often these accreditation visits are viewed as, some people have referred to them as kind of uncertain and terrifying. But it's really an opportunity for us to engage in a process of self-reflection and examination, as well as receiving the advice of these team members. So it's also consultative in terms of them offering their advice to us about how to get better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty exciting. And then the aftermath of the visit. What happens after the visit happens and after the team leaves?
Yeah, so when the team is here, they're going to review documents, they're going to interview members of the community, and then they're also going to tour facilities on campus. And so they'll get together and they'll write a report, and they should actually mostly have that report completed before they leave Grand Forks on Wednesday. And then they send that report. So I should emphasize that the team that's visiting, they're not the ones that make the decision. They're just sort of the evidence gatherers. So they forward that report on then to the HLC's Institutional Actions Council, and that is the governing body at the HLC that ultimately makes a determination of how we performed during our reaffirmation visit. And so I can expect that we will probably hear from them in June or July, so early to midsummer.
Yeah, that's great. And where can people get more information about this whole process? Because undoubtedly there's far more than what we've talked about today.
Absolutely, yeah. So anyone that's interested in attending, and we really encourage the entire community to participate, you can go to und.edu/HLC, or you can just check out the university events calendar. So all the open forum sessions as well as the drop-in sessions have been added to that.
Excellent. And a couple no-notice questions for you as well. You may or may not know the answers to them. The self-study, it's called our assurance argument.
That's correct.
Has been drafted by a whole bunch of people across the campus.
Yes.
Is that available for public viewing?
That is available for public viewing, yes. So again, if you go to the und.edu/HLC, then on the left column there is a specific link that you can click on that says prepare for the visit. And so it is at the bottom of that page. You can look at the entire, I think, 109 pages in its entirety.
And that's written according to the criteria. And if you wanted to get descriptions from the Higher Learning Commission about the criteria for accreditation themselves, you can go to the HLC website. And you can probably just Google
Absolutely.
Higher Learning Commission accreditation. Or I think, if memory serves me right, it's hlcommission.org.
I believe so, yes. But we've actually made it easy for the community. So on that same page that has the assurance argument, there's also a list of each detailed description of the 5 criteria.
Great. Well, Shane, thanks so much for sharing this with all the viewers today. To all the members of the community, this is an exciting time for us to demonstrate what we do so well here at UND, but also look for the opportunity to continue to improve. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in a couple weeks.